In this video, Allison, Donahue, and I, Cindy Chi, will be comparing the current top businessman with the top businesswoman in the Arab world. One of the top, if not the number one businessman in the Arab world is Nabil Habayeb. For some background information, Nabil was born in Beirut, Lebanon in 1958 and is Lebanese American. He graduated from Syracuse University in 1980 with a Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering and also received his master's degree in 1982 at Syracuse as well, again in Mechanical Engineering. He's currently married with 4 children. Mr. Habayeb is both the president and the CEO of General Electric for the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey, as well as the president of General Electric for the United Arab Emirates. He was named the #1 top executive in Forbes in 2017. Forbes Middle East determines their list of top businessmen by sending out questionnaires to companies on the Forbes Global 2000 list and ranking their CEOs based off of 4 main criteria. 1. Global impact. 2. Employment impact. 3. Oversight of the individual. And 4. Experience. Global impact means the ranking of the company on the Forbes Global 2000 list. General Electric ranks second on the list, right behind JP Morgan Chase. Employment impact stands for the total number of employees that the country has in the region. Oversight of the individual is the number of countries or regions that the executive oversees. And finally, experience is just the total experience of the executive. Nabil has spent a total of 34 years at General Electric in a variety of different positions. When he first joined General Electric right after graduating from college in 1982, he was a part of the GE Power Systems Field Engineering program. Later, he held multiple sales positions when he moved to Dubai in 1985. Nabil assumed the role of the Europe Pole Commercial Leader in 1996, and in just a year, he was first named General Manager in 1997 for Africa, India, and the Middle East region. Before his current position, he became the Regional Executive and General Manager for GE Energy in 2001. He has been in his current role as President and CEO since 2004. As for other affiliations, he is also involved with many higher education institutions. He is on the Board of Trustees for both Balamand University as well as the American University of Beirut. He also serves as the Director at Rochester Institute of Technology, Dubai. On top of his involvement with various universities, Nabil serves on the board of the U.S.-Saudi Business Council and is a part of the regional board of Injaz Al Arab and the Arab Forum for the Environment. As you can tell, he is very active in many different groups in the MENA regions.
According to Forbes, the most powerful Arab businesswoman is a woman named Lubna S. Olayan from Saudi Arabia. To sort and create these rankings, Forbes takes into account revenue of the company the businesswoman works for, her years of experience, and the scope of her role or ministry. With each of these factors considered, Lubna Olayan still came out on top. Olayan is the CEO of a company called Olayan Financing Company, which is an international investment company that owns more than 40-plus companies. Olayan Financing Company was actually owned and created by Olayan's father, Suleiman Olayan, in the 1970s. In 1983, she actually became the first woman to work for her father's business, and she did not have another female colleague until almost 18 years later. Olayan has done much for her father's company as its CEO, with its business operations including investing, real estate, and owning business and joint ventures, such as with Burger King, the fast food company, and Xerox, the tech company. Her success as the company's leader greatly shows with its annual revenue of upwards of $7 billion. The headcount of the company has also almost quadrupled since 2001 as well. Olayan was fortunate enough to grow up with the support of her father, who greatly influenced her later on in her career. Instead of growing up in Saudi Arabia, Olayan grew up in Beirut, Lebanon, where she was able to live a more westernized lifestyle along with her several sisters, more than she would have in her own country of Saudi Arabia. As a child, her father closely tracked the progress of her studies, and later allowed for her to pursue her higher education in the United States. She first received her bachelor's degree in agriculture from Cornell University, and after received an MBA from Indiana University alongside one of her sisters. After college, she first started working for JP Morgan, where she met her husband, John Sifos, an American, who later moved to Saudi Arabia with her in 1983, when Olayan began working for her father's company. It was in 1986 that she was officially named CEO of her father's company, Allison Financing Group, which was the industrial holdings section of the company. When the top Arab businessman, Nabil Habayeb, is compared with Lubna Olayan, both have rather similar backgrounds. Both people grew up in Beirut, Lebanon, received educations in the United States, and have experience working with American companies. But the one characteristic that sets Olayan apart from Habayeb is that she advanced in her career by working at a family company. When we look at the percentages of female labor force participation in MENA, it is clear to see that some countries are higher than others, although the graph does not represent women's participation in the business world, but in all jobs in the labor force in general. Saudi Arabia, the country that Olayan is from, has a lower female labor force participation rate than many of the MENA countries, with a percentage a little bit over 20%. This indeed does correlate to the fact that few Saudi Arabian women, of that 21%, are actually working in the business world. This is the same for other MENA countries presented on the graph with low female labor force participation rates. Islamic societal expectations and cultural norms are reasons why women in deeply Islamic countries, like Saudi Arabia, have trouble breaking into the business world or working world in general. In these countries, women are typically not allowed to mix with men they're not related to, and this leaves them very few jobs and industries where they can be isolated from men, such as education or healthcare. Through this comparison, it is much more difficult for women in the Arab world to work her way to the top of an impressive company than it would be for a man. Olayan herself was able to get through these barriers by having the privilege of entering the business world through a company already owned by her family and by living abroad. In turn, she has helped other women break these barriers by integrating Allison Financing Group and hiring over 400 Saudi Arabian women to work in the head office alongside men. By doing so, her influence has spread even further and caused a change that brought hundreds of thousands of Saudi Arabian women into private sector jobs. She has been a champion for women in business in the Middle East. Thank you for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed.